What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. Got an intriguing heavyweight clash this Saturday in the UK featuring number one WBO mandatory Oleksandr Usyk, a former Olympian, versus Dereck Chisora. This is a very intriguing matchup. This is going to be Vasily Lomachenko versus Orlando Salido 2.0. You've got the very aggressive, come forward fighter in Dereck Chisora versus the tactician, technically sound, fundamentally sound boxer Oleksandr Usyk, who's coming up from cruiserweight. This is his second fight at heavyweight, as his first heavyweight debut against Chaz Witherspoon, who's related to the former heavyweight champion Tim Witherspoon. He didn't look that impressive in that fight. Looked very sluggish in that fight. If you ask me to grade him on that performance, that probably was a C performance from Oleksandr Usyk, who's widely regarded as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in boxing. Now, he's going to have to basically box and use his superior technical skills to outpoint Dereck Chisora. But the one thing that he's going to have to be able to do is he's going to have to hit Dereck Chisora with something to get Dereck Chisora's respect. Because if he's not able to hurt or stun Dereck Chisora, it's going to be a long night, man. It's going to be a long, hard night at the office for Oleksandr Usyk. So Dereck Chisora is a guy that's come forward. He's, to me, a poor man's Joe Frazier. He does a lot of bobbing and weaving. He gets inside. He works the body. He goes over the top with the right hand. He comes in with the check left hook. He's a guy that's very guy that's a worker in that ring, basically. He's a grinder in that ring. He's a guy that's going to bring you a strong, steady performance for as long as the fight lasts. If it goes 12 rounds, you're going to get a strong, steady, consistent performance from Dereck Chisora. You know, the thing about Chisora is every big fight he's had, he's lost, but he's kind of like the Luke Campbell of the heavyweight division. Every big-time matchup, he's falling short, but you've got to look at the two fights with Dillian Whyte. In my opinion, he won the first fight. They gave it to Dillian Whyte. The second fight, he was ahead on my scorecard before getting stopped. I thought there was some shenanigans going on with the referee, letting Dillian Whyte get away with a lot of illegal tactics, didn't warn him. Dereck Chisora tried to take matters to his own hand, ended up getting a point deducted. Then I think he got a little bit desperate, feeling that he might have been behind on the scorecards and the referee was against him, and got caught with a shot that he didn't see and was knocked unconscious in that rematch with Dillian Whyte. But Dereck Chisora is always a guy that I really liked since he came into the scene of boxing. I remember back in the day, he was trying to get a shot with Vladimir Klitschko. That fight kept getting signed, then getting postponed, then ended up getting called off. I think it happened like 2 times with Vladimir Klitschko. So he eventually got a shot with his brother, Vitaly Klitschko, who held the other belt in the heavyweight division besides the multiple belts that Vladimir Klitschko held. And he slapped Vitaly Klitschko at the press conference. People were like, oh man, I can't believe it, man. This guy slapped him. He's a hoodlum. He's a goon. I can't believe he slapped Vitaly Klitschko. And he said after that incident, he said, I'm not here to play games. But I think the reason why he probably ended up slapping Vitaly Klitschko was because all the shenanigans that his brother had put him through with the fight being signed. He thought he was going to be fighting for the heavyweight titles versus Vladimir Klitschko. And then the fight ended up getting called off due to injury to Vladimir Klitschko. And he got called off twice. And they got signed again a second time. And then they got called off again. And I thought Dereck Chisora just was tired of the shenanigans that he thought was perpetrated on him by the Klitschko brothers. And when he was doing the face-to-face with Vitaly, he was in no mood to play any games. Vitaly kind of touched his forehead when he kind of looked down upon him in the stare down. And Dereck Chisora was not having it, and he slapped some sense into Vitaly Klitschko, slapped the taste out of his mouth, and it was something that you're gonna remember. And it's going to go down in boxing history and boxing lore, man. The Dereck Chisora. And then after that, a lot of people were like, oh, man, Vitaly Klitschko is going to really teach him a lesson in this fight. Vitaly Klitschko is going to knock out Dereck Chisora. Vladimir Klitschko is going to make a statement. And that wasn't the case, as Del Boy gave him all he can handle in a 12-round unanimous decision win for Klitschko, as Del Boy kept pressing forward, did a lot of good work inside, landed some shots up top, and gave Vitaly Klitschko one of his toughest fights of his career in a strong, better than expected performance by Dereck Chisora. And to this day, he's been that same type of guy. Now, he's a little bit more advanced in age, as he's 37 years old. A lot of people thinking will Father Time tap him on the shoulder on October 31st in the UK. That remains to be seen. But this is a great matchup, a great stylistic matchup, a great fan-friendly matchup, as you got the boxer, the fundamentally sound, technically skilled Oleksandr Usyk, who in my opinion still fights a little bit amateurish. That's the problem I have with him and Lomachenko and Dmitry Bivol to a certain extent. They kind of look to score points and land punches to score instead of sitting down on their punches to try to do damage and possibly get their opponent hurt and possibly stop their opponent. They're looking to score more in the amateur style, and it serves them well in the amateurs, but in the professionals, ranks will show them it'll serve them well too, as they're able to win a lot of their fights by outpointing their opponents. But sometimes it comes a point when you get in the fight, man, you got to sit down on your punches, and you got to land some stuff that's going to get your opponent's respect and possibly hurt the opponent, do damage, and look to get them out of there as soon as possible. And that saves you from wear and tear for taking unnecessary punishment throughout the fight. If you can get a knockdown early in the fight or in the middle of a fight, you can save yourself wear and tear on your body. So that's what I think Tyson Fury has done in his career now. He did that in the Deontay Wilder rematch. He started sitting down on his punches. He didn't, instead of taking all the damage he took in the previous fight with Otto Wilder and trying to score and trying to box and taking unnecessary punishment, he decided to sit down on this punishment, and it paid off in a 7th round TKO over the bronze bomber Deontay Wilder. So Oleksandr Usyk, in my opinion, needs to establish that in this fight to get the respect of Dereck Chisora. If he's not able to do that, Dereck Chisora is just going to walk him down and just try to rough him up. He's going to try to make this a very rough, physical, tough fight. He's going to try to bully Oleksandr Usyk. And Oleksandr Usyk is going to have to show that he's not going to get bullied, so he's going to have to land some and fight fire with fire. If Dereck Chisora is throwing elbows, I'm not saying he's going to do that. Oleksandr Usyk's got to respond in kind. He's got to let Dereck Chisora know that he's not going to get pushed around, that he's just as strong, he's just as physical. He's not the little guy coming up from cruiserweight. He's got to gain that respect from Dereck Chisora. I think this fight is a very intriguing matchup. I can see this fight going to the scorecards, as I believe it will go to the scorecards. And I like Oleksandr Usyk in a very close decision win over Dereck Chisora. And this is going to set the stage for Oleksandr Usyk to call out Anthony Joshua, as he will be the mandatory for Joshua's WBO title. Will Joshua take that fight? It remains to be seen. As we've all heard, him and Tyson Fury have pretty much made a verbal agreement on a 50-50 deal and a 2-fight deal for them to fight in May of 2021, provided that Tyson Fury wins his fight on December 5th against Carlos Takam or Ajit, and Anthony Joshua wins his fight versus Kubrat Pulev a week later on December 12th. We'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. But this fight is going to come down to real estate. If you see Usyk fighting the majority of this fight on the ropes, this is going to be a Dereck Chisora type of fight. If the fight is more in the middle of the ring, it's going to be advantage Oleksandr Usyk. So it's going to be very interesting, man, because I looked at Oleksandr Usyk fight against Tony Bellew. That was his last fight at cruiserweight. Tony Bellew was really outboxing him and was winning on my scorecard before he got caught late and was knocked out in that fight. And then after that, he fought Chaz Witherspoon. Didn't look that impressive either. So if the fighter that fought Chaz Witherspoon show up October 31st against Dereck Chisora, he's going to lose that fight, ladies and gentlemen. But even if the fighter, in my opinion, that fought Tony Bellew, who was getting outboxed surprisingly in that fight before getting a knockout, shows up against Dereck Chisora, he's going to lose that fight. Dereck Chisora is a much improved fighter under the leadership of his manager, David Hay. His trainer that he's working with has pretty much maximized Dereck Chisora's strengths and minimized his weaknesses. He's got a great chin, even though he has been knocked out by Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is one of the hardest hitters in boxing outside of Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. So the guy's got one hit or quitter type of power. But outside of that, he showed to have a great chin. I don't think Oleksandr Usyk can knock him out unless he catch him with something that Dereck Chisora doesn't see. So I think Usyk's got to hit him with something to keep him at base, shoot the jab out there, and keep him at bay, make Dereck Chisora reset, come over the top with the right hand and the left hand, and basically fight at a controlled distance versus Dereck Chisora. He cannot let Dereck Chisora get inside and push him up against the ropes. If he does that, then it's going to be a long night for Oleksandr Usyk. Because the much problems that he had with a Chaz Witherspoon, who was inactive and not that great of a fighter to begin with, he's going to have a whole lot of problems with Dereck Chisora, who in my opinion is a top 10 heavyweight in boxing today. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. But that's my decision on this fight. Oleksandr Usyk by close decision over Dereck Chisora on October 31st in the UK, Halloween night. Let me know your thoughts on this particular matchup. It's a very intriguing matchup between these two heavyweights. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button if you like the content of this video, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.